The movie begins on what seems like a completely ordinary, quiet morning at a massive, multi-level public storage facility named Storage 24 in the heart of London. The employees are going about their routine daily tasks, completely unaware that their world is about to change forever. Without a single warning, a deafening, earth-shattering, the sheer force of the impact violently shakes the entire storage facility to its core, knocking dust from the ceiling and terrifying everyone inside. The employees rush out of the building to investigate the chaos. The horrifying truth becomes clear. A massive military cargo plane has suffered a catastrophic failure mid-flight, disintegrating in the sky. Huge flaming pieces of the aircraft wreckage are raining down onto the streets of London, with debris crashing directly into the storage facility and the surrounding neighborhood. Outside the building, one of the storage facility employees, Nikki, is trying to corral her panicked dog. Her pet, spooked by the explosion, runs toward a massive piece of the crashed plane. Following her dog, Nikki approaches a large, heavy military cargo container that is smashed into the concrete. The heavy steel doors of the container have been forcefully busted open from the inside. Nikki cautiously steps closer, peering into the dark, empty container. Suddenly, her dog begins barking aggressively. Staring deep into the shadows of the facility's walls, Nikki tries to calm the dog down, but the animal is hyper-focused on something lurking in the dark. Without warning, the dog sprints into the shadows. Nikki calls out, but a few seconds later, the barking abruptly stops, replaced by a sickening, dead silence. A deep, paralyzing wave of fear washes over her. Too terrified to investigate the darkness, she slowly backs away, pretending she saw nothing, and retreats into the safety of the main building. Meanwhile, the plane crash has caused absolute gridlock across London because of the massive traffic jam. Charlie and his best friend Mark arrive at the storage facility hours late. They are there to sort through items belonging to Charlie's ex-girlfriend, Shelley, following a bitter breakup. But the tension between the friends spikes immediately. While rummaging through Shelley's car, Charlie finds another man's jacket. Intense jealousy and anger boil over, but Mark steps in, calmly urging Charlie to control his temper before they head inside to face Shelley. Inside the facility, the manager, Jake, is dealing with the fallout of the crash. Debris has smashed through the roof, severely damaging the building's power grid. Jake orders the resident electrician to go down into the dark, isolated basement to check the main breaker box and restore power. The electrician descends into the gloomy basement. As he inspects the heavy metal breaker box, he notices something deeply disturbing. The thick metal has been violently ripped apart by something incredibly strong. Even worse, the exposed wires are coated in a thick, highly corrosive, white glowing slime. Touching the strange substance, he hears a bizarre, unnatural clicking sound echoing from the dark corridors. He cautiously steps into the shadows to investigate, but is suddenly startled when Jake appears behind him. Jake impatiently orders him to fix the power immediately and turns around, heading back upstairs, leaving the electrician completely alone in the dark. On the upper floors, Charlie finally confronts Shelley. His suspicion regarding her infidelity causes a bitter, emotional argument. But just as the argument reaches its peak, the lights violently flicker and the entire facility plunges into absolute darkness. The power has completely failed. Furious, Jake grabs a flashlight and marches back down to the basement to confront the electrician. The basement is pitch black. He finds the electrician struggling to light a small match. When the tiny flame finally illuminates the room, Jake recoils in sheer horror. The electrician has been brutally attacked. His chest is torn open by massive, deep claw marks, and he is bleeding to death on the cold concrete. Before Jake can process the gruesome sight, a terrifying, massive alien creature drops, landing right in front of him. Panic takes over. Jake scrambles backward, sprinting up the stairs and violently slamming the heavy steel door behind him to lock the monster in the basement. But the creature doesn't give up. It aggressively begins smashing its heavy claws against the metal door, trying to break through, oblivious to the deadly alien threat below. The group upstairs is still caught up in their personal drama. Charlie and Shelley continue to argue while Nikki tries to intervene. Realizing the situation is escalating, Mark pulls Charlie aside to cool down. Needing answers about the power failure, Charlie and Mark decide to investigate the storage units. The electronic security system controlling the facility has completely malfunctioned. The heavy steel shutters blocking the main exit have automatically locked down, trapping everyone inside the building. When their cell phones fail to get a signal, Charlie grabs a heavy fire extinguisher and aggressively smashes it against the thick glass of the front door. But the reinforced glass only cracks. It does not break. They are completely trapped. Meanwhile, Chris and Nikki decide to search the lower corridors for another exit. While Chris casually wastes time buying snacks from a vending machine, Nikki steps into the public restroom. Suddenly, the lights above her flicker and die. In the darkness, she hears a strange clicking noise. She nervously calls out, "Hello?" but receives no answer. Stepping out of the stall, she looks up at the ceiling. The heavy metal ventilation grate has been violently torn open, and the edges are dripping with the same thick, corrosive white slime. In the hallway, Chris hears a terrifying guttural scream. He drops his snacks and sprints toward the sound, bursting into a storage unit filled with creepy, disjointed mannequin heads. Inside, he finds Jake huddled in the corner, trembling with absolute mind-shattering terror. Jake looks at Chris with wide, panicked eyes and say, "He is going to kill us." Suddenly, heavy, scraping footsteps echo directly above them on the metal ceiling. Without a single second of warning, the alien creature bursts through the roof,